Coming up, so Donald Trump has decided that despite all the gold embellishments he's added to the decor, the White House is still just not tacky enough for his tastes. So he's knocking part of it down in order to build a ballroom. The man who bankrupted casinos, hotels and resorts is now literally turning the seat of American democracy into an event venue, with a ballroom that absolutely nobody wants and that no one ever asked for. Or as Trump puts it,
they've wanted a ballroom for 150 years.
Alternative facts which dismiss the desecration of the historic East Wing of the White House, which dates back to 1902, despite his pledge that the existing building would not be materially altered. What a fantastic metaphor for Trump's lies and his destruction of America's tradition of democracy. Stay tuned. So yes, it's official. The unannounced demolition of part of the historic East Wing of the White House, part of America's heritage and patrimony, is underway, unauthorised by the relevant planning authorities and breaking all planning regulations for Washington, D.C. to make space for a tasteless and trashy, vulgar $250 million ballroom. A massive gesture by Trump to the American people that he won't play by the rules and won't be constrained by any checks and balances on his power, whilst at the same time building a golden monument to himself, complete with chandeliers, marble floors and, no doubt, a souvenir shop selling extortionate Trump tat like his watches, MAGA hats, ear bandages and Christian nationalist Trump Bibles. All made in China.
Not everything's made in China, like some of it's made in Bangladesh. That's not China.
And if a crappy Trump ballroom at the White House wasn't grotesque enough, Trump's also pushing a triumphal arch to stand in Washington as a celebration of his second presidency. So Trump's presidency is now moving into the realms of what I'm going to call performance architecture, by which I mean it's the embodiment, the physical embodiment of narcissism. Trump is literally rebuilding democracy to reflect his own ego. He's turning the people's house into a ballroom of power, a venue for cronies and sycophants to toast the death of accountability and the birth of American authoritarianism. He's proposing these self-aggrandizing monuments as a celebration of his second term as president. Does it remind you of anything? Oh, and guess where the 2026 G20 summit meeting is going to be held? At one of Trump's own resorts, of course, because why separate public service from personal profit when you can merge them into one seamless grift? This is a level of open and overt corruption never seen before, not even in the money-dominated politics of the USA. Trump doesn't even attempt to hide it. Like the heist at the Louvre this week, it's a smash and grab happening in broad daylight. And we shouldn't laugh this off as typical Trump, because it's not just about him. It's about Autocracy Inc, a populist global contagion that has infected democracies from Washington to Westminster. There's a three-step pattern that's true of the autocrats Putin, Orban and Erdogan, as well as Trump. 1. Power becomes theatre. These people all love to put on a show and make dramatic gestures at public expense. 2. Public office becomes personal business. In each case, massive fortunes have been siphoned off to personal and family bank accounts as a direct result of their position of power. 3. National symbols become branding opportunities. They make themselves synonymous with their country. A weird kind of patriotism where the message is, if you oppose me, you must therefore hate your country and you must be a traitor. Every autocrat understands the same basic rule. If you control the stage, you control the story. And Trump, as ever, is the most brazen stage manager of all. He's not so much a politician as a game show host. His administration is not so much a government, but a game show host's version of one. A White House that is not so much a symbol of democracy, but a theme park where democracy is just a hollow prop, a backlot facade or a false front. Even the crowd is rented and paid for, and the soundtrack is a chorus of alternative facts and senile gibberish.
Bing, 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 bong, 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 bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, and that. Bing, bong, huh. Bing, 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 bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. You know what that is, right?
The grand ballroom, the triumphal arch, the paved-over White House Rose Garden Club, the receptions for oligarch donors, it's all just politics presented by a game show host designed for the cameras, where personality cult replaces policy substance and style, or the lack of it, literally demolishes structure. And for Trump, it's been a very successful approach. Many Trump voters voted for him because they thought he was funny or entertaining, much like those in Britain that voted for Boris Johnson. And that's the danger, because when democracy becomes entertainment, truth becomes optional. Neither Johnson or Trump would know the difference between truth and falsehood, because in their minds the border is blurred or even unrecognisable. I really believe that. They don't decide to lie. They just say what they want the truth to be. It's not a big deal for these narcissists. It's not important. It's only their truth that matters, their alternative facts. And just like with Johnson and his gold leaf wallpaper and so on and so forth, and Trump with his Bitcoin, his gifted jumbo jet and other bribes too numerous to mention, when politics becomes a show, the show is always financed by corruption. We saw it here in Britain. The 3 years we Brits experienced under Boris Johnson's premiership endowed us with the ability to easily recognise Trump's corruption and lies. Unfortunately, here in the UK, we've now got Nigel Farage auditioning for power by copying his hero Trump and adopting a showman-type personality himself. In Farage's case, he's a privately educated City of London bond trader cosplaying as a man of the people. Meanwhile, we've got Prime Minister Starmer, who seems to think that the best way to beat populists like Trump and Farage is to quietly imitate them like some sort of second-rate tribute act in a failing effort to stave off the politics of performance where nothing is real except the narcissist at the centre of the stage, be it Trump or Farage. The next time you see Trump boasting about his new ballroom, his Rose Garden Club, his Arc de Triomphe, or whatever vulgar, narcissistic nonsense he dreams up next, remember, here in Britain, Farage shows all the signs of following in Trump's footsteps, allowing no dissent within Reform 2025 Limited, his limited company masquerading as a proper political party. He's the greatest British grifter since the days of Oswald Mosley, and given the chance, he'll be replacing number 11 Downing Street with his version of Trump's ballroom. Probably a traditional British pub festooned with England flags and reeking of racism and misogyny with a side of victimhood and entitlement. And relax, because, well, we're not there yet and hopefully never will be. But for our American friends, it's already too late. America's democratic institutions are being demolished, both figuratively and now literally. Let's hope the great British electorate look at Trump's America and see sense before the next election. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, or should I say, if you've endured it in horrified fascination, then please give it a like, share a link with your friends, and leave a comment below. It really does help fight the algorithmic right-wing slop that keeps this kind of stuff hidden. And if you'd like to support the channel more directly, take a look at becoming a Truth to Power member by hitting the join button and help cover my costs of producing these weekly videos. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching.